today. He's having some travel complications. So we'll go ahead and get started. I see the recording has started, and good morning, everybody. I'm calling this meeting of the Public Safety Communications Task Force to order. It is 11:15 on March 18th, 2026. I'm Barbara Neal. The meeting's being recorded, and the recording will be posted to the task force webpage following the meeting. We'll start with a roll call of task force members. Please verbally acknowledge your presence when I call your name. Let's start with Paul White.
I'm here.
Ron Kumitz. Ron, I think you tried to say something, but it wasn't clear. Are you here?
I'll be here momentarily.
Okay. Oh, okay. Thank you, Jim. How about Jim Mack? Are you here?
I'm here.
Okay. And Michael Wright.
Morning, I'm here.
Okay. All right. And let's see. Ron, did you make it on? Oh, I see. He's on a phone call. Okay. We'll give him a few minutes. Let's move on. Also joining us today is Emily Mullaney from Department of Public Safety as our administrative support, and our project management partners from Televate, Rick, Dom, and Elizabeth. Morning.
Morning, everyone.
Morning.
And let's see, we have a few members of the public here. So I will call your name and you can introduce yourself and any affiliation you care to share. So Dean, let's start with you.
Good morning. My name is Dean Gilmore. I represent Vermont State Firefighters Association as well as Addison County Firefighters Association.
Great, thanks for being here. Phil Sisk.
Oops, I was on mute. Good morning, everyone. Phil Sisk, Mission Critical Partner.
Morning. Keith.
Yes, Keith Chafin. I represent Tate Communications. I'm the Northeast Regional Manager.
Thanks for being here. And Alex Fruland.
Hi, good morning. My name is Alex Fruland. I'm with Tate Communications. I'm pre-sales engineer in support of Keith.
Okay, great. And Matthew, last name starts with G. I'm not going to try it.
Good morning, Matt Gianquinto, System Sales Director with EF Johnson.
Morning. And let's see, Chris Pedotti.
Hi, good morning, Barb. Again, Chris Pedotti, VSP Dispatch.
Welcome. Okay, I think that covers everyone. Let's see if Ron got off his call. Ron, are you with us? Sounds like not just yet. Okay, we'll carry on, and Ron will chime in, I'm sure, when he is available. So moving on to approval of the agenda. The agenda was distributed to task force members by email. It is also available on the webpage. Are there any changes needed to the agenda today? Okay, hearing nothing, we'll consider the agenda approved and move on to approval of the minutes. These are the minutes from our last meeting on March 4th, regular meeting number 74. Is there a motion to approve these minutes?
Make a motion to approve. Seconded.
Thank you, Jim, and I think Michael. Yep. Any discussion on the minutes? Okay. All in favor of approving the minutes from March 4th, raise your hand or signify by saying aye. All right, I see the 4 hands are up, and Ron has yet to chime in, but the minutes are approved. Okay, let's move on to project updates. And Dom, I will hand it over to you to kick things off.
Thank you very much, Barb, and good morning, everyone. From Televate status, we previously had met with Addison County Fire Chiefs to review the LMR concept that includes a statewide collection of LMR simulcast cells to provide coverage for the VHF coverage for fire and EMS agencies. Most recently, just yesterday, actually, we met with Addison County Rescue Squads as well to go over the concept with them and answer their questions. We have plans to meet with the Vermont Ambulance Association, working with Michael Wright to schedule that. I believe their next meeting, we will be on the agenda to review that and get their feedback on that. We have also provided a preliminary list of names that support the CAD requirements development, and also a list, a smaller list of participants who would be recommended to help with CAD vendor proposal evaluation once we get there. We also have performed initial work to help facilitate the development of the CAD requirements. And that about summarizes Televate status. Happy to answer any questions.
Sorry, questions for Dom? Okay. So the next item on the agenda is the CDS projects update. Now, Dan, because of his travel complications, is not able to be here. He had mentioned that Corey Chase would be here, but I don't see Corey on the call. Okay, we probably should have covered this at the beginning. I missed that Corey wasn't here. I think in light of the fact that we don't have Corey, we'll have to postpone this topic until the next meeting. Paul, is there any particular protocol I need to go through for, okay, just we're good, okay. Okay, all right, we will do it. Yep, we will circle back to this one, or if Corey happens to join in a bit, then maybe we can come back to this on the agenda.
I'm here.
Ron, good morning.
Good morning. Sorry about that.
That's
Had to talk
okay.
somebody off the ledge.
Oh, okay. Well, hopefully you were successful. We were just talking about, we were on the agenda item CDS projects update, and we were expecting Corey Chase to be here, but he's not joined the call yet. So we're going to skip over this for now and move on to legislative updates. So I can share some updates here. House Government Operations and Military Affairs voted their committee bill out of the committee last Friday. That bill now has a number. It's been assigned number H935 for those of you who are following along. Emily distributed the version that was sent out, or that was voted out, excuse me. There has been one review of the legislation in its next stop, which is House Appropriations. That was just yesterday. I listened in. There were a number of questions asked, including things like, what is Rapid SOS? Some thought it might be AI related, or just general questions about what it was. And I'll circle back to that in a minute. And then so a number of questions about, will these proposals result in actual deliverables versus more system plans and concepts and kind of thinking about the issue. So I reached out to the vice chair, Marty Feltus, to clarify what Rapid SOS is. And the deliverable question I thought was adequately addressed by Representative Hango and Byrong, who were there kind of presenting the bill. So they conveyed that, yes, there are actual things that will come out of this rather than just ideas and studies and that type of thing. I did let Representative Feltus know I can be available for any questions House Appropriations might have as they consider this. And circling back to Rapid SOS, we use that name brand in the legislation right now. And my thought is maybe we want to pull Rapid SOS specifically out and discuss, mapping solutions, or we can get the right wording to signify, that connection between the mapping solution used in the 911 system and the dispatch centers. That might be better in case there's ever a change, and and Rapid SOS isn't in play. So we can talk about that later, but I did kind of flag that when all these questions came up about what it is. So essentially, in my view, we are in wait and see mode, right? The bill will need to clear House appropriations. If it does that, it'll need to clear the full House. And then it will head over to the Senate side and likely get assigned to, I would guess, Senate Gov Ops. So questions or comments on where we are with the legislation? Okay.
I just checked and I had told you on Monday that bill number didn't exist yet in the online query, for querying it online, but it is there today. So if anybody that
Oh,
wants to
good.
read, it's, I know Emily distributed it, but if you also want to look it up on the web, it is there.
Okay.
Yeah, Emily's link doesn't work anymore, so you have to search on that bill number.
Okay.
Oh, okay. Good to know. Okay. I don't know if, Dom, go ahead.
Yes, thanks, Barb. Just a question, would it be appropriate and useful for stakeholders to provide any input to the House at this point in time?
So the House appropriations, it's there because there's money being spent, right?
Right.
So I think that is they're going to be their focus, rather than this is just my impression, rather than tackling issues of substance the money's certainly of substance, but in the way the work is going to be advanced. So in my view, it might be better to wait for that, for additional stakeholder input to when it gets to the Senate side. What are other thoughts? That might not be the best. I guess I don't want to I don't want to hang things up in House appropriations. I don't know. What do others think?
I don't want to open the floodgates. Oftentimes you'll see people will be encouraged to call their legislator, and I don't want to flood them at this. It's way too early for that. But if any stakeholders have a particularly good relationship with a legislator, between now and when it goes to the full House for a vote, it wouldn't be a bad thing to, if you support it, let them know you support it and why.
Right.
Answer any pre-answer any questions they might have about it.
That's a good thought. And certainly we wouldn't discourage, people have a right to speak their mind however they see fit. But I'm going to go to Dean, who has his hand up right now. You have some thoughts on this, Dean?
I do. I know Addison County had a meeting last night, and I've seen the letter. I don't know if it's been sent to you yet. We drafted a letter showing our support, and I know that the EMS in this county are also on board, and they're going to send me a letter, which I'll forward to you. So if they do ask you to testify, because one of the questions yesterday was, are the agencies that are involved, are they on board with this? Because of the fragmentation that we've had over, for 20 years on communications. So if you haven't already received that email, you will be getting it.
Okay.
We've even had the discussion, the chair of House Appropriations is from Middlebury. It's been tough over the years to get her to sit down to have any conversations with us, but we're going to reach out and see if she will sit down if we need to do that. We're certainly willing to do that. And as the chair of the VSFA Government Affairs Committee, I know I can speak for the Vermont State Firefighters Association. So we just need to know, if that's something you want done. If it gets over to the Senate, we certainly have a lot of support there. as fire service, and we know the right people. We have good communications with Senate operation or government operations. So,
Okay, that's great feedback. I have not seen those letters just yet. I will keep an eye out for them. And I think you said if we're called to testify, we could reference those letters. I could also send them to my contact on House Appropriations, which would be Representative Feltus. So she's aware. I don't think there's anything problematic about any of that. Do task force members agree?
Yes.
Okay. All right. And we thank you, Dean, for your engagement on this whole issue.
you're very
Okay,
welcome.
okay. Anything else on legislative updates? Okay. I see Corey has joined us. Corey, welcome. I hope we didn't catch you off guard or that
No.
Dan said you would be here and when we didn't see you, we skipped over the CDS projects update, but if you're prepared to do so, we're happy to hear about what's going on with that.
Thank you for inviting me, and I'm sorry I was late. My previous meeting ran long. So I can give you an update on the 2023 COPS grant. Just a second. I've got not really a presentation, but I've got a document.
Okay.
So at a high level, the COPS grant, we submitted a implementation plan to the Department of Justice when the grant was awarded. And the way that the Department of Justice manages their grants, you need to submit an implementation plan, they review it, and then they release the funds after their review. The Department of Justice declined to, while they approved the implementation plan, they did not release the funds. And that was due to a question about how the state would ensure compliance with federal regulations. And our attorneys and the Department of Justice attorneys have been talking about how to ensure such compliance since 2023. And on several occasions, we have come to a meeting of the minds, only to find that the entity with whom we were meeting no longer works at the Department of Justice. There has been significant turnover, significant delay, significant just inability for us to engage with really anybody. And that has been incredibly frustrating for everyone. That said, we were able to have the department to conclude an agreement with the Department of Justice by which they released $2 million of the $9 million. And that is for approximately that's for 10 different projects that we've been working on since the grant was released and subsequently approved by the DOJ. So this table describes the situation. The orange colored items are the projects that have been released. The blue projects are those that are still on hold. And then administrative services related to the project are also released. So at a high level, here's a kind of a rundown of the projects that what we've been doing on the released amounts. So project 1A is co-location and site resilience. So the effort here is we have 10 tower sites that we maintain that were added to the fleet of tower sites that the Department of Public Safety maintains. These 10 tower sites were added as a part of the VCOM effort several years ago. When they were added to the network, they were added using grant funding to pay for the addition of the additional costs. And only the connectivity to these sites was just a terrestrial leased line fiber circuit from the telephone company. That has been problematic, and the leased line service often fails, and there is no diverse routing to these 10 sites. So our solution to this is to employ diverse routing from mobile wireless services from AT&T and Verizon as backups to these 10 sites. So we've conducted an RFP. We engaged a company to design and deploy the design and recommend the equipment. We have procured the equipment, and we're in the final stages of the engineering work that's necessary to bring that about. The second project is replacing 9 generators at DPS managed tower sites. So we have procured 9 generators. We have deployed 7 of them. We have 2 additional, the 7 propane generators have been deployed. 2 remain in flight. They were delivered too late last fall to make it in the construction season. So we're working on the plan to deploy those at Mansfield and Killington this summer. The project 5 is related to also power services at our fleet of sites. Through this effort, we have procured and deployed batteries at all of our sites, all of our active tower sites, to achieve 48 hours of backup at these sites. So this is all of our equipment operates on 48-volt DC power. And so these batteries are DC power batteries, and they include rectifiers so that a rectifier is a device that takes the AC current from the power, the normal power, and charges the batteries. So we've deployed that. We did the procurement. We selected a vendor, procured the equipment, and received it and installed it at all sites. Project 6 is service monitors. We require service monitors. That's essentially a fancy name for a spectrum analyzer. The DPS staff conducts twice annual preventative maintenance sessions at every one of our radio tower sites. That preventative maintenance effort includes determining the quality and the capability of the antenna infrastructure on the tower, and the capability and capacity of the radio equipment at the tower. In order to do that effectively, a technician requires a spectrum analyzer. These are expensive devices, and they've got a shelf life because, well, at any rate, it's a piece of technology that in itself is a problem. But hauling it back and forth up to mountaintop sites that aren't road accessible doesn't do much to extend the shelf life of that device. So we did an RFP. We procured new service monitors, and they have been received. We did a training session, and our staff are using them for this spring's preventative maintenance efforts. Project 9 is dispatch consoles. So currently, the way that our state of Vermont network works, dispatchers, telecommunicators, use a dispatch console. It's a device that lets the telecommunicator select which radio they're going to speak on when they push their mic button. These consoles that we have were procured 10 years ago, and this project is to replace those existing consoles. This project was successful. We conducted a procurement. We selected a vendor. We procured the equipment. We have now 30 new dispatch consoles that are sitting at 15 at each of our 2 PSAPs, and they're ready to be engaged. They are not yet turned up, but we are on the cusp of that. So project 9B is telephone service. Today, we have a 40-year-old Nortel analog PBX that provides telephone service to our dispatchers in the two PSAPs. And we're grateful every day that we make it through a day that it still works. And we are actively pursuing an effort to switch that to a new telephone service provider. We went through many different iterations trying to determine how best to address telephone service. And we finally landed on a solution that met our needs and that was amenable to our colleagues at the State Agency of Digital Services. What we're doing is we're procuring telephone virtual PBX service from a telephone service provider. And we will no longer have an on-site telephone switch. This new telephone service will be consumed by the new dispatch consoles. And that has the tremendous advantage of allowing single headset operation for the dispatcher. So the dispatcher will be able to, because the telephone service will be consumed in the same dispatch console as the LMR radio, that will have a lot of efficiency improvements for the telecommunicator because they can actively conduct both LMR work and telephone work in the same application. It also makes it easier for us to maintain and manage that platform, and we're looking forward to getting that done. Both of these projects, the dispatch console and the telephone service, are dependent on network security. So in order to enable this to happen, we had to interconnect our network, our private state network that touches these 45 odd tower sites, and the dispatch consoles. Today, that is an island network. It doesn't interface with any other networks. It doesn't connect to ADS, doesn't connect to anything else. In order to integrate that network with the telephone service provider, we had to deploy firewall systems that serve as the point of interconnection between our network and the others. We did a procurement. We selected a vendor. We purchased equipment. We purchased engineering. The equipment has been installed. The engineering has been completed, and I'm happy to report that yesterday we made our first test calls. And we're happy that we're able to see the working dispatch consoles connected to both LMR and telephone. We have some more testing to do to figure out exactly how we're going to configure that. And then the PSAP operators, my colleague Chris Pedoti probably is going to have to weigh in a little here. We have some efforts to ensure testing and training for the telecommunicators before we bring that live. But all of these projects are underway, and procurement is completed, and we're in the final stages of deployment of these. The other projects that are here that make up the remaining $7 million of this grant are on hold pending some resolution with the Department of Justice. And our grant managers and attorneys at the Department of Public Safety have been actively engaged with the U.S. Department of Justice grant managers and attorneys. We are told that this is not a political problem, that this is a staff issue at Department of Justice and resource allocation question. Yet it's been over a year that we've been waiting for our proposal to be acted on, and we have we have positive interaction with the staff we're working with the Department of Justice, but yet the projects, the grant, the GAM, the grant amendment matrix or something, whatever that is, the grant change request that we've submitted has yet to be approved. And we have no information about when it will be approved. So with that, I'll conclude my comments on this. If you have questions, I'm happy to answer them.
Well, thank you, Corey. That was a lot of good information. I mean, I don't know how it works with the process with Department of Justice and these federal monies and all of that. It's to someone who's not familiar with that, this sounds really scary that, you know, we've got $7 million in limbo, so to speak. And also I noted that what's in limbo is, and correct me if I'm wrong, is the work that the task force wanted to piggyback off of, right? As far as okay. Okay, so that's my observation. And my other question for you is whether you're willing and able to share that document that you just presented, so we can,
Yes.
task force members can, okay, that'd be great. Other
I'll send it
questions?
to you, Barb.
Okay, I actually, if you want to send it to Emily, she can get it out to the entire task force. That would be
Okay,
great.
I'll send it to Emily.
Perfect.
I should note that excuse me, Barb, I'd forgot to mention that on this document, there's a link to our website where all of the RFPs and all of the contracts are posted.
Okay. Another thing, and then I'll open it up to the rest of the task force. In the current legislation in H 935, there is a deadline for the Department of Public Safety to issue RFPs. I think actually, I think that's related only to CAD.
Yeah,
Okay, not related to the LMR work.
right.
We'll want to make sure of that, because if there's this delay in these funds, that could be problematic. Okay, are there other questions for Corey from task force members?
I don't have a question, but I would like to offer a helpful piece of advice. Corey, I think you're doing yourself a disservice in describing your service monitors as essentially spectrum analyzers. A service monitor is an entire test bench in a box, and having worked in the industry prior to the invention of a service monitor, I can tell you that they are something you cannot live without, particularly if you're hauling things up a mountain. So
Yes.
I might revise the way you describe those to, actually reflect the impact that having those instruments has on your technicians.
It's absolutely essential, and Ron, I appreciate you drawing attention to that. I was trying to put it in perspective, but they're absolutely essential for our work. And unfortunately, they require constant calibration in order to be accurate, and an instrument that's not accurate is not very helpful.
Right. It's good perspective. Anything else from task force members? Okay, I wonder, I just want to give, go ahead, Paul. Go ahead, sorry.
I'm just been thinking through Corey's comments about the interaction with the Department of Justice and this need to somehow demonstrate that we're in compliance. I'm just wondering, is that purely a technical compliance, communications type compliance, or is that being stretched further to include whether or not the state of Vermont is in compliance with the federal government in other areas? Is that, I know you said they assured you it's not political, but you have to wonder.
You definitely have to wonder. I spend many nights waking up thinking, gosh, is it political? Why is this taking so long? And we've been through at least 5 grant managers, and it has been difficult to even remember who we're supposed to be talking to, because there's been so much turmoil and change at the Department of Justice. And it's easy to understand how they've gotten themselves very confused.
Right.
We're assured that this is not related to the state of Vermont's overall issues. It's a strictly compliance with federal law in our proposed execution of the grant.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay. Interesting.
Thank you.
Okay. Other task force members? Okay, I wanted to give Rick and Dom an opportunity to see if they had any questions for Corey.
Well, I don't appreciate the opportunity, appreciate the update, Corey, and I know you've been working hard to get that additional funding released, and hope that happens soon.
So do we. Thank you.
Yeah, I just want to say that I empathize with the anguish that you're feeling, Corey. You know, that money was committed years ago, and the amount of effort that you have had to endure and input to find out that you still don't have access to the money after all this time when you got received approval of it years ago, it's just got to be frustrating and very disappointing. And I hope your headache goes away real soon.
Well, thank you. I'm often hesitant about these things, but we are told from the latest Department of Justice contact that it is our requests are pending the administration approval, whatever at the Department of Justice, and that they expect action soon, whatever that means. But we've heard this before, so I hate to get too optimistic. At the moment, we're trying to just be very focused on completing the projects that are currently in flight, and the telephone service and the remote the ability to use mobile wireless service for backhaul from tower sites. They're on the cusp of being implemented. All the equipment's there, all the engineering's done. It's sort of in the final throes of that. I would like to tell the task force and my other colleagues that manage dispatch entities around the state that this integrating telephone service within the dispatch console is it has certain significant advantages, and I would like to be able to demonstrate that once we have it done. I certainly would like task force members and your consultants to be able to witness that. And we've designed it to be extensible. So if there are other agencies that would find this useful, maybe we can look at ways to make that more useful to others.
If I may, just one more request.
Sure.
So Project 11, which is the security, if you be happy to package that up, because as included in the task force recommendation, obviously was to adopt your security, the implementation of the security that you're doing, so that it could be extended to all the PSAPs. So if you could, so maybe we can get together so we know exactly what that is, so that we could put a plan together about proceeding with that. In the event that we do get, that a funding is approved, perhaps we could piggyback on an existing vehicle that you have, if that's a possibility. But that would be important for us to keep pace on, as well as all the other activities you have going on.
Yep, great. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. Excellent. Well, thank you very much, Corey. Appreciate all the information today, and we'll look forward to hearing that the money's been released and you're back at work or continuing to work. So
Right.
I think
Great.
we'll move on to public comment, and I'll start with Chris Pedoti, because Corey mentioned you might have some additional thoughts on this particular topic, but then we'll open it up to any comment you'd care to share. Chris, go ahead.
Well, thanks, Barb. I don't have necessarily much to add. Of course, I've been trying to work as closely with Corey and his team, and definitely appreciative of all their efforts in getting our PSAPs up into the new age, if you will, considering we're kind of with our archaic phone system and such. But he basically, Corey just mentioned just ensuring that our staff receive the proper training, and so we're just working on a training plan to ensure that everyone has been exposed to the same information, so that when this new equipment actually goes live, they actually know what they're doing. So we're just working on that, and we don't anticipate any problems. But like with anything else, training staff in any new system is always going to be a challenge. So But other than that, I have nothing to add. And thank you again, Corey, for you and your team for everything you're doing.
Excellent, thank you. Okay, I'll just go down through the list of public participants here and see if you have any comment. Dean, let's go to you.
I have nothing more to say other than just let us know if there's anything we can do on the fire side of things. So we certainly support all of the work and hopefully we can move forward. So.
Great, thank you. Phil Sisk.
No comments at this time. Thank you, though.
All right. Matthew.
Nothing to add, but thanks for the opportunity.
Sure. And Keith.
Nothing else additional. Thank you.
Okay, and Alex, I'll check in with you, though I think you're there with Keith.
I appreciate the check-in. Nothing to add as well, and appreciate the opportunity.
Okay, great. And I'm just double checking to make sure I didn't miss anyone. I don't think I did. Speak up if that is not accurate. Okay. Moving on then to new business. Do task force members have any new business for today? Okay, excellent. We're on to confirm next meeting date and adjourn. So next meeting date is on the books for Wednesday, April 1st. That would be April Fool's Day, in case you've forgotten. Unless, of course, something comes up urgently in between. If there's nothing more, is there a motion to adjourn?
I will make the motion to adjourn.
Seconded.
Thank you.
Do I have
Ron.
to stay after? Do I have to stay after class because I was late?
Yes.
I'll say not this time. No, but don't make it a habit, right? All right. So, okay. So we've got a motion to adjourn in a second. All in favor of adjourning, raise your hand or signify by saying aye.
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 All right. The meeting is adjourned. We'll see everybody on the 1st. If not, if something comes up, we'll be in touch in between. So thank you all very much.
Thank you, Barb. Thanks, everyone.
Okay.
Thanks, everyone.
Bye-bye.
Thanks, bye.